Welcome to the Dropship.com podcast. Today, we're bringing you more e-commerce insights, dropshipping strategies, and all the inspiration you need to grow your business. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, this podcast is your one-stop shop for success. Ready to roll? Here are your hosts, Ava and Noah.
Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be talking about Temu.
Oh, yeah.
That app, you know, the crazy low prices
Yeah.
and the super catchy jingles.
I've definitely heard a lot of them.
But this isn't just about the app itself. It's about the guy behind it,
Okay.
Colin Huang. And we'll be looking at this newsletter from dropship.com
Cool.
and kind of tracing his journey from factory worker's son
Wow.
all the way to a tech giant, you
Oh, yeah.
know. Disrupting e-commerce in China first,
Uh-huh.
and now setting his sights on the West.
So what's fascinating is that Temu hit this major milestone. 51 million monthly users here in the U.S.
Yeah.
in just his first year,
Really?
which is crazy because that took Amazon,
Yeah.
you know, the reigning champ of e-commerce,
Yeah.
like a whole decade
Wow, that's incredible.
to achieve.
So what can we learn from this, like, super rapid rise?
Yeah, I think this newsletter does a great job of laying out how his early experiences kind of shaped his approach.
Okay.
Think about it. He starts as the son of factory workers in China, excels in math, you know, gets a scholarship, goes to the U.S.
Yeah.
to get a master's degree in computer science
Yeah.
at a top university.
It's like the American dream, right?
You would think.
Yeah.
But the story doesn't end there. He works at Microsoft,
Wow.
then Google.
Talk about impressive.
I know, right? But he still feels like there's more to do. So in 2006,
Okay.
he heads back to China to start his own ventures.
That takes some serious guts.
Yeah.
So he launches his first venture, Uku.com. It's an e-commerce platform for electronics.
Okay.
Decent idea, but he quickly realizes that going head-to-head with Alibaba
Right.
is probably a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
But what's interesting here is he doesn't see this as like a failure,
Okay.
but as like a crucial lesson in market positioning.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about finding a niche, you know, a blue ocean where you
Yeah.
can kind of dominate
Yeah.
without going head-to-head with those giants.
So that brings us to his next move, which is a software company, really focused on helping brands navigate this e-commerce world. Again, innovative. But he struggles with scaling it. It seems like this is a recurring challenge for him.
It is. And, you know, this highlights another key takeaway from his journey, which is adaptability.
Okay.
He's constantly learning and tweaking his approach and looking for these new opportunities.
Yeah.
So these early ventures, even if they weren't home runs, they provide invaluable insights into how complex e-commerce is and how the needs of consumers are always changing.
Right. So armed with these experiences, he launches Pinduoduo in 2015.
Okay.
Now, this is where things get interesting. He's not targeting those big cities. He's focusing on a demographic that was largely overlooked.
Interesting.
Price-sensitive consumers in smaller cities in China.
It's pretty smart.
Right. And so he introduces this concept of group buying,
Okay.
where users can team up to buy in bulk and unlock huge discounts.
It's like a digital Costco.
Yeah.
Where shopping becomes a social thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that social element seems to be super key. Pinduoduo's success was fueled by word-of-mouth marketing and the power of community. People love to share a good deal.
Yeah.
And this platform made it super easy and fun to do that.
Absolutely. It tapped into something fundamental about human behavior.
Yeah.
We love a bargain, and we love being part of a community. So their growth explodes. They hit 300 million users in just 3 years.
Wow.
And then they go public with his massive IPO in 2018.
I mean, it's an incredible success story. How did he pull this off?
Well, first, he identified an underserved market.
Okay.
Second, he understood that power of community and going viral. And third, he didn't overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
Took group buying and made it simple and fun and accessible.
Makes sense. So he's conquered the Chinese market. What's next? Well, in 2022, he launches Temu, bringing that winning formula to the West.
Oh, wow.
And this time, he's got his sights set on a global giant, Amazon.
That's a bold move.
Yeah.
But it seems to be working. Temu is using a similar playbook to Pinduoduo,
Okay.
but they've also added some new tricks. It's like,
Their aggressive pricing. I mean, they're often undercutting Amazon
Yeah.
by a significant margin.
and then there's the gamification aspect. They've turned shopping into a game
Uh-huh.
where you earn discounts and rewards.
So like a digital personal shopper.
Yeah.
That's learning your preferences
Ex-
and suggesting deals you wouldn't find otherwise.
I love that.
Right. It's a really powerful way to personalize the shopping experience
It is.
and make it a lot more engaging. It's like they've figured out how to tap into the psychology of rewards and almost make shopping addictive. But on top of the tech, there's a massive marketing blitz.
Oh, yeah.
Super Bowl ads, influencer partnerships, you name it.
They're making sure everyone knows about Temu.
Right. And it's working.
Yeah.
51 million users, you know. That's a testament to their strategic brilliance.
They adapted a proven model for a new market and added their own innovative twists.
It's like they took the best parts of Pinduoduo, injected some of that Western flair, and created the shopping experience that's resonating with a whole new audience.
For sure.
But how sustainable is this model? Can they really keep up these low prices?
That's a question a lot of people are asking. You know, this rapid growth hasn't been without its challenges. There are concerns about counterfeiting and the impact on labor practices and whether or not their business model can remain profitable.
Right. These are all valid concerns, and it'll be interesting to see how Temu addresses them as they continue to grow.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's really shaking things up. I mean, it's forcing, you know, established players like Amazon to kind of take notice and reevaluate their strategies.
That's a really important point. It's not just about Temu's success. It's about how they're like impacting the whole e-commerce industry.
Exactly.
So are we on the verge of like a major change in how we shop online?
It's certainly a possibility. You know, Temu and Pinduoduo, they've shown us that community-driven shopping and gamification and, you know, these competitive prices.
Yeah.
These are all trends that the big players can't really ignore.
You have to wonder, is this just a temporary thing? Or are we like witnessing this fundamental shift in how people shop?
That's the big question. Only time will tell for sure. But what is undeniable is that Colin Huang, he tapped into something significant. He recognized, you know, this desire for affordability.
Okay.
For a more like engaging shopping experience and this yearning for a sense of community.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of shoppers crave.
And he turned those desires into these two insanely successful companies.
It is pretty amazing.
Especially when you think about like, he didn't come from this privileged background.
Right. He had to work his way up, learn from his mistakes.
Yeah.
Constantly adapt to a market that changes all the time.
It's super inspiring.
It is. It really is. It's a story about perseverance and innovation and that willingness to challenge the status quo.
Whether you're like an entrepreneur or just someone navigating a really competitive world, I think there are some really valuable lessons there.
Absolutely.
So let's break down some of those key takeaways.
Okay.
First, Huang clearly has a knack for finding those underserved markets.
Yeah.
He saw the potential in China's smaller cities, and he did the same thing with Temu,
Right.
recognizing that there was space in the West for a platform that combines affordability with a really fun and engaging shopping experience.
It's not always about going head-to-head with the biggest companies out there.
Right.
Sometimes it's about carving your own niche and catering to a specific audience. That's been overlooked.
Finding the blue ocean.
Exactly.
Love that. Another takeaway is like this innovation through simplicity. He didn't reinvent the wheel. With Pinduoduo or Temu,
Right.
he took existing concepts like group buying and gamification and used them in a way that felt fresh and engaging.
He understood people want a good deal.
Yeah.
And he made it easy for them to get one. And while also feeling like they're part of a community.
Yeah.
And sharing that experience with others.
We also can't forget about those early ventures. That didn't really pan out.
Yeah.
Those weren't failures. They were like learning experiences they taught him about the challenges of scaling a business and the importance of those strategic partnerships and how important it is to adapt to a market that's always changing.
That's a great point. Every entrepreneur, every innovator is going to face setbacks along the way. It's about how you respond to them. That determines if you're going to be successful or not.
Right.
He didn't let those early challenges stop him. He used them to make his strategies better.
Exactly.
And achieve his goals.
Okay, so we've talked about strategy and adaptability, but there's also like the role of technology in his success. Both Pinduoduo and Temu are built on using data to make decisions.
Yeah.
They use all these algorithms to personalize recommendations for shoppers and optimize their logistics and make the whole experience really smooth.
That's what technology can do. When it's done right,
Right.
it can give businesses the power to grow quickly, to connect with consumers on a deeper level, and to make really innovative products and services.
For the listener out there who's really into tech, this is a prime example of how data can drive decisions
Uh-huh.
and give you a competitive advantage.
It shows how much e-commerce is changing. It's not about having a website anymore.
Yeah.
It's about making that personalized experience that uses data to keep customers coming back.
Absolutely.
And one final lesson I think we can take away is the importance of thinking globally,
Yeah.
with Temu. He showed that a model can be adapted.
Yeah.
And put into new markets.
That's a bold move.
Yeah.
But it's paying off.
It shows he understands how consumer trends can go beyond borders.
It's a reminder that even in a globalized world, there's room for innovation.
Exactly.
He's not content with just one market. He wants to change all of e-commerce, and he's willing to take risks to do it. It's been a wild ride, and we're just starting to see the impact of his vision.
I know who knows what the future holds. For Temu, for Pinduoduo, or for Colin Huang himself.
It's the exciting part.
It is. We're
Yeah.
seeing this huge shift
Yeah.
in the world of e-commerce.
Yeah.
And it's people like him who are willing to challenge how things are done, who are pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Even in a market that seems totally full, there's always room for innovation.
Always.
And a fresh perspective.
Well.
Before we wrap this up, I want to remind everyone, we got all this from the dropship.com newsletter.
Oh, yeah.
If you're looking for good analysis and like up-to-date news about e-commerce, check them out.
Yeah, they're on top of things, constantly evolving.
Okay, so let's move on to our final thoughts. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap things up.
That was good.
All right, so welcome back to the deep dive, everyone. We've been on quite a journey today,
Yeah.
exploring the world of Colin Huang, the guy behind Pinduoduo and Temu. From like his modest beginnings to disrupting e-commerce globally, his story is pretty amazing.
It's really subtle.
So as we wrap things up, let's leave our listeners with something to think about,
Yeah.
What can we take away from his journey, whether we're entrepreneurs or just trying to get ahead in a competitive world? There's some valuable lessons in here.
I think one thing that stands out to me is his belief in his vision.
Okay.
He didn't let all those setbacks get him down.
Mm-hmm.
He used them to figure out better strategies.
It's a good reminder that you got to be persistent, you got to be resilient
Exactly.
to succeed. Something else that hit home for me is how important it is to focus on the customer, Pinduoduo and Temu. They were built with a deep understanding of what shoppers want.
Definitely.
They make things affordable, they create fun experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and they build a sense of community.
It's not enough to just offer a product or service.
Right.
You have to create an experience that connects with people,
Right.
that understands their needs and aspirations, and addresses their pain points. You have to adapt and evolve
Yeah.
if you want to stay ahead.
And as Temu shows, people are ready for something new. They want value and convenience, and a shopping experience that feels real.
Colin Huang gets that, and I don't think he's done yet.
It'll be really interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
Will Temu keep disrupting e-commerce? Will Pinduoduo dominate China? What new things will he come up with?
Only time will tell. But it's definitely a story to keep an eye on.
And we'll be here, bringing you all the analysis and insights on what's happening in e-commerce.
Absolutely.
It's been great diving deep with you all today.
I agree.
And remember, Colin Huang shows us that we all have the power to innovate and disrupt and make a real difference in the world.
So go out there, embrace your vision.
Make your mark.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
That's it for today on the dropship.com podcast. We hope you got some value out of this episode. If you're looking to stay ahead in e-commerce and dropshipping, the dropship.com newsletter is where we dive deeper into the latest trends, news, and strategies. Delivered every Monday and Thursday. Don't miss it. Subscribe with the link below.